This is Paul Sanneman with Business Success Tips, where you can learn to make more money in less time and have more fun, specializing in the have more fun. I'm the founder of Contractor Staffing Source, where we help contractors build great teams. Now, I have as my guest Rob Timmerman from the Timmerman Group, and I'm in Hawaii. And where are you located, Rob?
I'm in St. Louis, Missouri.
So it's a little colder for you than for me, I'm sure, right?
Absolutely, especially this week.
Yeah, I just went to a conference in Dallas and I got out, it was 4 degrees and 8 degrees. And I went, I think I'm going to go home. It's like way too cold for me. So anyway, tell people about what you do and why they should listen to you. I guess we could start there.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me, Paul. I'm excited to talk with you. I love helping contractors with their marketing. Just a little bit of background on me. I come from a family of contractors. My father and brother were all in the industry, so I was really raised with the highs and lows that come with that. But as I transitioned into marketing, I just knew that the steady stream of leads is really what helps your contracting business consistently. It's not just the ups and downs of surviving off of maybe a storm or a weather event. It's that consistent amount of leads, and then treating those weather events as a bonus is really the structure for success. So I'm excited to talk to you about a couple areas of that today.
Okay, so I guess the question would be, most of the guys listening to this, and they're mostly guys and some girls, I'm sure, are contractors between, I'm going to say 3 and 20 employees. That's pretty much the group.
Yep.
And so a lot of these guys are doing $1 million to $5 million, and
Okay.
they don't have a big marketing budget. I mean, as you probably have heard that before, right? So,
Couple times,
um,
yeah.
so I mean, what should you spend on marketing and what should you spend it on? Because I've heard everything between 2% and 15%. And I've heard everything from Google ads to, building brand and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of confusion out there. And I would say there's also, no offense, but a lot of distrust because
Yeah.
people have tried SEO, they even know what it is, they hire somebody and nothing happens. Those end up spending, I'm picking a number, 25, 30,000 a year, and they just don't get it. Like nothing happens. So maybe you can help, get rid of some of those myths and tell people what they need to do and how they can tell a good marketing agency from not a good marketing agency,
Yep,
why
for
they
sure.
should hire one, that whole thing, because it is not in the construction industry. You got a bunch of, for lack of a better term, craftsmen that have become entrepreneurs. They don't know much about marketing, recruiting, this kind of stuff. And unfortunately, they go with somebody they heard of or somebody they found on the internet. They don't even know how to find a good one, and they have this bad experience. They go, I'm done with marketing. I spent 30,000 bucks and got 5 leads. It's over.
Yep, for
So
sure.
can you help help with that part?
Yeah, for sure. So I'll walk you through just the whole spectrum here, but really deciding that you need marketing is the first step. So leads are not just going to come in the door. Yes, you can do the friends and family thing, but that's only going to go so far. So deciding that you need marketing is really the first step. And there's a couple different ways that you can do marketing. I really
How
like
do you
to
make that decision whether you need marketing or not and how much to spend?
I would say like, is your revenue where you want it to be, or do you want to grow? We really like clients that want to grow. Just the clients that are wanting to just maintain are not super fun. But
Right.
clients that want to grow, which most business owners are, that's really how you determine if you want to do marketing. There
Okay.
are initiatives that you can do, knocking on doors that nobody wants to do, right? That sort of tactics. But beyond that, people are going to find out about your business through marketing.
Okay.
Okay.
Now I'm defining for people, I'm defining marketing as everything it takes the phone to ring, and sales is after everything after it rings. Is that a fair distribution?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think getting the phone to ring or the website to fill out, any of those are marketing activities. Even putting wrapping your truck or putting a magnet on your truck, those are all marketing activities.
Okay.
But we'll talk about a couple ones today that are really about just capturing demand that's already out there.
Okay.
So if you have an HVAC company or a roofing company or a plumbing company, there's people that need your service right there out there. We know that that's already been created by all the homeowners
Or
out
even
there.
remodelers, people want to remodel, same kind of thing. There's somebody remodels their house, and then the question is, how do they find you and how do you find them, right?
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. So yeah, whether it's remodeling your house or whatever, that demand is out there in the public. So just catch it. And how you catch demand that's already out there, the best way is showing up on Google. So I'll walk you through a couple ways to do that. And then I'm going to break it down for smaller contractors and maybe a little bit of the larger spectrum you talked about.
Okay. Let's hear it.
So just remember that there's so many people searching for what you are offering, and that's an amazing thing. You're not Steve Jobs, and you don't need to create the new iPod. There's people already searching for what you're selling in the geo that you're offering it. So in the location that you're selling it. So let's just talk about showing up on the front page of Google. That's where people are looking when they have a need and an immediate need. Okay, that used to be yellow pages, right? Or phone books, those types of things. They're opening those up, but today it's really about going to Google. They're typing in keywords like HVAC contractor, heating and cooling, St. Louis, Honolulu, you know, whatever the city is, right? So here's what happens when people search for that. There's two things. You either show up or your competitors show up.
Now,
Okay,
is it true that if you're not on the first page, it doesn't matter? I mean,
Yeah.
that's all that matters, put it that way. On the second, third, fourth, fifth page, it's too late.
Yeah, that doesn't matter at all. And I would see even today, you need to show up towards the top as much as you can, because you've got ads and different things up at the top of the page when people are using a mobile device to look for you, which they typically are.
So if you go on the phone and you put, remodeler Cincinnati, Ohio, and hit the button, if I can't read it on my phone, they're probably not going to find me.
Right, for sure. So if you don't show up on your phone, you're actually helping your competition. Because these people are not searching these keywords for fun. They have an immediate need, whether that is something that their home is in danger, their family's in danger, or it's more of just a want. They want some home remodeling, a basement remodeled, what have you. But they definitely have the need and they're looking for it. So you have the opportunity to catch that lead and turn it into a sale. But if you don't show up, yeah, you're just helping your competition. And that's how the competition grows so much, by showing up on the front page of Google.
Okay.
Okay.
So how do you show up on the front page of Google? Can you tell me?
Yeah, so let's talk about a couple ways to do that. We're going to talk about search engine optimization as the primary one. There's also opportunities such as pay-per-click, where you're paying per click. But I just wouldn't advise pay-per-click with where the level of contractors of the audience we're talking to today. And that's because a lot of those clicks can be $20, $30, $40, $50 per click. And that doesn't mean that you get a lead. Okay. So I like to show up on the front page of Google through something called organic search engine optimization. That means that it's an earned right to be there from your Google finding your website the most relevant source on the internet for whatever your potential customer typed into Google. So whether it's, like you said, home remodeler, Columbus, Ohio, home remodeling, Columbus, Ohio, those types of keywords, that's really.
I might put in bedroom or bathroom or deck or something.
Yeah, kitchen remodeling, they're going to throw in different combinations, whether it's just the trade plus the service, the trade plus contractor, or trade plus construction. But just know that the good leads always have your city in it. Okay, and that may be the city where your office is at or your service area, but those are really the types of buyers you're trying to catch. Okay. So you can show up in the organic listings like you talked about, Paul. There's 10 positions there. Okay, so there's typically 10 positions on the front page of Google. And then there's 3 map listings. We'll talk about both of those here today.
Okay.
So both of those I would suggest getting in if you can. The map listings, we'll talk about that. That's one thing. Just if you're a small contractor, I would get yourself in the map listings ASAP. That typically happens from registering and optimizing something called your Google Business Profile. Okay, so that's something you can set up. But there's also optimization and authority that needs to happen to that. So you can try to set it up and see how well you do, but that might be an agency that you need to get help on.
Okay.
The other
What are the
side.
tricks of showing up there on, I mean, what are the algorithms or what are the tricks that make you better than the next guy?
Yeah.
To show up on the
So let's
Google.
talk about that in maps a little bit. So Google Business Profile and Google My Business, however you want to refer to it, that is called the citation. So a citation is anywhere that your name, address, and phone is listed, and you might hear the acronym NAP talked about. So Google Business is one of them. Also, Facebook is one of them. Yelp is one of them. BBB, those are all citations. So the more citations you have out in the internet about your business, and the more consistent they are, the better chance you have to show up in that map area. And again, that's a super coveted spot because there's only 3 organic spots in that map section.
That's
Okay.
it? So
That's
there's
it.
20 guys, there's only 3. So how do you end up in the top 3?
So keeping those citations consistent is one of the main areas and reasons why you will show up in that map pack. Beyond that, Google's also looking at your website to see the authority of your website. So I just want you to think about your website being the Wikipedia of what you offer to the public in your market. So Wikipedia is.
So pictures aren't going to count, right?
Yeah, you're going to have some pictures and such, but just think of a thorough, a robust, and extensive website. It's got your services, it's got your team, it's got your about, it's got your company, it's got your different ratings and all of that. And reviews is a big part of showing up in the Google map area.
And those are Google reviews, just those, right?
Yep, absolutely. Yep.
Is it better if it's a video review or does it matter?
I would say the text review with the stars, like that's really gonna do the job. So the more of those that you can have, the better. So if you're a quality contractor, and that's what I hope you're pushing for there, you're really trying to get 5-star reviews. I would ask for those. So if you think about what Google wants to provide, what do they want to provide? They want to provide the best resources for what the user typed in.
Right.
So they're not going to show a 2-star listing in most cases. They're only going to show, 4.
So if I have like 25 5-star listings, I'm ahead of a guy that has 5 5-star listings, right?
Yeah, chances are you're probably going to show up higher than them. Now that is connected to your website. So they're both feeding off of each other for power. Okay. So the more that your entire website is relevant for what you offer, the better chance you have showing up in that map section.
Okay. And map is geocentric, right? So you are the guy in this zip code or whatever it is, right?
Yeah, so you might have service areas that are way out, some people have, really large service areas. And it's about your physical location. So it may not pull if you're way out somewhere.
Now, does it have to be a business or can it be your house?
Well, here's the thing. It's going to show the exterior. And that's whether you take that picture and put it up there, or the little Google car that drives by is going to take the picture and put it up there. But one way or another, that picture is going to be up there on the internet for all to see. Okay, so that's either going to help you or hurt you.
You have a really nice house or a really cool office, or
Yeah, I would say at least an office,
right.
At least an office is going to help your conversions. The more you have pictures of the trucks out there that are branded, or the vehicles that are branded, signage, that's all the better.
Can you control that picture? Or does Google? So you can put that picture up yourself, right?
Yeah, you can upload pictures to it, but also Google's going to pretty much take a picture of the outside of your building as well. So there's a little bit of optimization about what picture you want to show up. But one of the pictures typically is one of Google's pictures that will show up. Okay. So that's the map section. And then there's just the 10 listings on the page below the maps where you can show up as well. And those are super powerful too. Preferably, I love my clients to show up in both positions. I like to take up as much real estate on the front page of Google as possible.
Okay.
Because again, when somebody searches for you, you want to have as many opportunities for them to see you. Okay, so showing up in those 10 listings, that is about your website, the content on your website, and the authority of your website.
So everybody listening to this podcast should go to Google and use keywords in their industry and see where they show up, I would assume, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I'm going to give you one little tip here. You want to be a little bit cautious when you do that because you're probably on your website. So you're on, you're using Google Chrome, you're using Mac PC, whatever, it doesn't really matter. But you're logging into Google and typing in what your business is. So let's say it's back to the home improvement, Columbus, Ohio. Well, if you're in Columbus, Ohio, and you've been on your website a lot, which you probably have, Google thinks you like it. So it might be showing it higher than it is. So it's best just to use a clean browser or an incognito mode, something along those lines.
Or have your friends do it for you or something, right?
Yeah, I do all the time. I ask my wife, like, hey, can you put this in your phone and see where
Right.
we're okay.
Got it.
So
Okay.
you can do things like that as well. But yeah, just put what you offer to the market plus where you offer it into Google, see where you rank. That's the number one step. You need to be conscious of where you're at. And you also need to be conscious of who else is in there. Who else is ranking. Okay.
Okay.
So that way you know who you're competing against. Okay.
Now, can I figure out, say I'm 10 and some guy else is 1. Is there a way I can figure out how he got to be 1 and why I'm 10?
To a certain extent, if you have an extensive amount of SEO knowledge, but
Can an agency like you tell me that?
oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So you could tell me like, this guy is 1 because of blah, 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 and you're 10 because of blah, 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 right?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Yep. And that's a good thing to do, reaching out to an agency that has experience in this, in ranking on Google, which again is called SEO. And then asking them, hey, what's it going to take to get on the front page, or what's it
So I
going to
guess that's something you can do. My guess is as part of your discovery call is, okay, I just looked you up. You're 10. Here's your competitor. He's 1. He's doing all of this stuff. You're not. And if you want to do all this stuff, it might cost you X amount of dollars, but at least you have some idea of what it takes to go from 10 to 1, whether it's, 2,000 or 25,000 to get there. You can help people with that?
Yeah, for sure. And any really SEO agency can help you with that as well. So
Okay.
any digital marketing agency should be able to help you with that specializes in SEO.
Okay.
But I can tell you what you really should be listening for when you're talking to those agencies. So they're probably going to have 2 calls with you. At least that's how we do it. So you want to make sure they are listening to you. So that is key. So are they listening to what you offer? Are they listening to where you offer it? And then they need to determine where you're ranking now and what it's going to take to get into that front page or even higher up the ladder on the front page. Okay. So they may need to go do a little research, talk with some of their team members, develop a strategy. But that first call should be more about their process, your goals, what you're trying to accomplish. And the second call is going to be more about, this is what it's going to take to get there. Here's a little bit more deeper about our process. Here's what our retainer is to make that happen. Okay. So I'll talk to you a little bit about how to find and select one of these agencies.
Okay, that'd be really interesting because a lot of these guys listening have no clue.
Yeah. So
first, you're going to go to Google. Just kidding, right? And,
yeah, I mean,
my guess is this is sort of funny, but if they can't get #1 Google as advertising agency in your market, may that be a little test, right?
Yeah, and there's a couple different ways to look for this, so I'll walk you through that. Okay.
Okay.
So, and there's really no wrong way of finding it, but here is what I would suggest. And that's exactly what you said. Are they ranking for something? Okay. So for instance, my agency, Timmerman Group, doesn't rank for home improvement marketing agency, I don't believe. If we do, I think it's number 9. But we typically will rank number 1 for home services marketing agency, and that's nationwide. Okay.
Okay.
So if you type in words like home services marketing agency, Columbus, Ohio, you're only going to find the experts in that area, and that may be fine with you. But if you want somebody who's got maybe a little bit more authority, somebody that ranks on a national scale, probably knows what they're doing, like even a little bit more. Does that make sense?
Now, if you get somebody on a national scale, what about if I'm in Columbus, Ohio, and the agency's in Michigan or someplace else, right, or California? Does that really matter where they're physically located?
I don't think that it matters as long as they are, back to what I said, a very good listener. So
Okay.
you'll be able to tell that when they're asking about the questions, and are they really understanding what you want to accomplish, where you want to accomplish it? Because
And
all the
probably
different,
I go with you probably have some kind of a gut feeling, you either like this guy or you don't. I mean,
absolutely,
guys, I thought all of it, if you have a real sense of intuition sometimes. So after the conversation of this guy, if you wouldn't want to invite him to dinner, he may not be the right guy. Like, yeah, I don't like this. Because that personality it's that chemistry has to be there, right?
for sure, for sure. This is not something where you're going to work with this agency for 1, 2, 3 months and then stop. This
They're
is
getting
something
married,
that's, yeah, this is something that's going to go on forever. This is a relationship.
right?
So yeah, Paul, I even have a line in one of our PPC ads that we run for our agency, and it says, "One call will tell you all." And
Okay.
that's the truth. Like within the first 15 minutes, if you're not feeling that this company knows what they're talking about with the depth of the subject matter that you
Also,
need,
you feel they really care about you, not just making the sale, right?
yeah, and also, can they have a conversation with you? Like, are they willing to get on the phone? Like, can they have a one-on-one like you and I are doing, or is it feeling weird, like they're hiding behind email? Maybe they don't want to get on the phone. They just want to do email proposals. Those are things I watch out for.
So what I hear you saying is that your relationship, in a sense, with your agency is just like a relationship with your accountant, relation with your other subcontractors, your plumber, electrician. It's a relationship, right? And
100%.
so you have to feel good about being in the presence, either physically or electronically, with that person.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. That is a lot about what it's about. Like, if your gut feels good about it, it's probably good. Yes, check out case studies and maybe talk to a couple people. Do they have good Google reviews themselves? All those are kind of good factors.
It's sort of
But
like it's like a dating process. It's not like,
totally.
it's you're looking for a new girlfriend. It's in a way
Yeah,
that
totally.
sort of bad
Yeah,
analogy,
totally.
but it's about relationship, not just about information.
Yeah, that's why a 2-call process works a lot better than just trying to talk to somebody one time. They may hit a home run on the first call. Like, you may talk to some, slick sales guy, and he gives you the song and dance, or she gives you the song and dance. That's good. But talking to multiple people on the team is awesome. And just having multiple conversations is great too.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, I can talk to you a little bit about how to manage an agency and what to expect once
Yeah,
they.
that'd be good, because what happens a lot of times is the agency says I need to spend, I'm picking a number, 10% of my annual revenue on marketing. I'm doing
Yep,
3 million, that's $300,000, right?
yep,
I haven't spent more than 10,000 the last 5 years, right?
right.
A year. And now I'm going, now I'm supposed to, that's a tough sell, because I'm going from 10,000 to 300,000.
Yep,
And why should I do that? And why does it make any sense? So a lot of times there's a disconnect between the agency and the contractor, because they're not used to paying that kind of money for leads. Have you noticed that?
yeah, for sure. And I think just a tough pill for a lot of contractors to swallow, and just companies in general, is your marketing budget is really up to what your competitors are willing to spend. So you can say, I've only got 1,000, I've only got 3,000, I've only got, 5,000, whatever. but it's really up to what the competition is investing for pay-per-click, for SEO, because whatever they're paying is really controlling the price. Because
Okay.
it's about the amount of work.
So this brings up a quick question. If you are in Cincinnati, obviously, if some guy's doing Cincinnati, the whole town or whatever, he's got a marketing budget of 200,000 or 300,000, and you're doing one little suburb of Cincinnati, and your marketing budget's like 30,000. Can you geo-fence that so you're not competing against the whole Cincinnati thing?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where you got to be smart. So if you're a smaller contractor, don't go for the metropolis. Just go for your suburb. That's totally fine. You can just dominate your suburb. I think that's where really people they try to get too broad, maybe with their geographic target, or they start saying like, yeah, I really like this SEO thing. This makes sense. What about email and social and TikTok and Facebook and all this other stuff? And then you just dilute it to the point where you don't get anything. So
Right.
think about just going all in on what you offer, where you offer it, and what channel are you going to use. If you're going to use SEO, that's great. If you're going to use PPC, that's great. But give it enough budget to really operate, to perform
And
where.
budget also includes time, right?
Absolutely.
I'm
Yeah,
assuming SEO takes a lot longer than pay-per-click.
it does because you're paying for the click. So it's a purchase price versus an earned price of making Google believe that you are the authority of your industry in your area.
Okay.
And that last point about really making Google see that you are the authority is something I want to drill on to a little bit, because we'll have established contractors come to us and they'll say, we've got the most trucks, the biggest office, the biggest team. Google doesn't care about any of that. They care about providing the best resource to their users, and the resource that they're providing is your website.
So
So
you're judged by your website and SEO, not by actually what your physical company is, right?
absolutely,
Which is
yeah,
the good news, the bad news. The good news is you could be a little teeny company, have one truck and look bigger than the guy that has 20 trucks, right? If you
that's
do it
right.
right.
That's right. And the word that we talked about, investment, that's true. It's not always money. To compete with some of these big players, whether that's your competitors that offer the service or a competitor like Angie's List, they're all taking up space on the front page of Google.
Right.
But you got to be smart about how can you compete with maybe these big companies or these big directories like Angie's List.
Right. Okay.
And then just consistency is the key. I can't tell you how important that is to find a partner that's great and stick with them. The more that you turn it off and on with SEO, especially with seasonality, or maybe it's a tough year, you really want that consistency, because that irregularity really hurts your performance.
Okay. Cool. So now, if excuse me, if people want to get in touch with you, maybe you can tell our audience a little bit about your vetting process, who you're looking for, and how they could find you.
Yeah, awesome. So first, you can find me by going to wearetg.com. That's our website. Or you can just Google Home Services Marketing Agency and we'll come up there. You can also Google things like Enterprise SEO Consultant and we'll come up typically number 1, 2, or 3 there. So those are all ways to find us. Personally, I hang out on LinkedIn a lot. I provide a lot of value about SEO on LinkedIn. So just look up Rob Timmerman and you'll find me there.
Okay.
Talk to you a little bit about clients that we love to work with. There is a certain threshold of budget that we need to really make it tick for a client. That's typically going to be somewhere around $3,000 a month for us. And
Okay.
then it'll move up the ladder from there depending on what they need. But I've taken on some clients that are less than that, but I'm really looking for clients that,
$3,000 a month, that doesn't include their what they're going to spend on marketing. That's just for you, right?
yeah, that's what they would spend, let's say, on SEO
Okay.
per month. Okay. But I'm really looking for clients that want to grow. So if it's a smaller niche and I feel like I can really help them out, sometimes it's gonna be a little bit less. Sometimes we'll start them a little bit lower and work up to that rate, you know, but again, like there's some partnership there. Like I'm vetting the client to just as they're vetting me. I'm looking for
Right.
long-term relationships with companies that want to grow.
Got it.
And,
Cool.
and that's really what's exciting for us.
Okay, and you do work with contractors. I assume a significant portion of your client list is contractors. Is that true?
Yep, absolutely.
And since your dad was a contractor and you sort of grew up as a contractor, you probably understand contractors pretty well.
Yes. Understand the cold weathers, you know, where maybe you're not working for a couple weeks there. Like I've lived through all of it, and just the consistent lead flow, that's really what you want to get to.
Okay. Well, thanks, Rob. I appreciate you being here. And again, if you before you choose a marketing agent, you probably call Rob just to find out how to choose a marketing agency, whether you choose him or not. Because this is the case you don't know what you don't know, which can be really scary.
Yeah,
So
give me
I'd
a call.
appreciate if
Happy
you
to
call
help you
Rob
out.
just to find that out. Okay.
Yep.
Well, thanks for being on, Rob. I really appreciate your time.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks for having me. It was great talking to you.